I'm going to tell you a little story that happened to me when I was a freshman in high school. This was around football season because I was on the football team. For gym class, we were playing on this jungle gym thing, and there were parallel bars. You ever seen those bars? They run parallel, and you like get up on them, and you kind of walk your arms, and you can do swings and things. And I was messing around with them. I was scrawny, very weak as a freshman in high school, and I was often injured. I was one of those people who just always had some kind of injury of some sort. And so I'm on these parallel bars and I'm messing around, and when I swung, I put a lot of pressure on my chest and my shoulders, and it wound up caving my chest in. Like literally the cartilage bent back and forward. And this was excruciating. The thing is, it was also very embarrassing. I knew that this is not something normal that should be happening. I knew that it was a representation of how weak and how injury prone I was, and so I hit it. One of the problems is that I had football practice, and so I was too embarrassed to tell the coach what had happened and what was going on. A, I was embarrassed. B, I didn't think they'd even believe me because it was such a random type of a thing. And C, they wouldn't understand what happened and how this hurt or anything like that, and I would just feel embarrassed about it. So instead, I just said I was sick, and I got to sit out at least a couple practices. But this was so painful that I could barely breathe without being in excruciating pain. And this lasted for at least a couple days and then lingered on for weeks and weeks and weeks. So I just held it in and didn't tell anybody about this because I didn't think anybody would understand. I was embarrassed about it. And that's kind of a summation of a lot of my relationship with pain and injury. I'm somebody who's had a lot of injuries, who's very injury prone. Started off when I was really, really young. I've got hypermobility syndrome, so that's a big piece to why. But it's always been kind of one of those things where it's a sign of weakness, or it's a burden on other people, or you're just complaining. People who don't experience these kind of things, that don't have injuries or persistent pain or chronic pain or anything like that, don't tend to really understand what it's like. And so there's a stigma, and that stigma makes me feel embarrassed about it. But I'm less embarrassed about it now. Still, there is some of that relationship, but I figured I'd share that with you if there's anybody out there that has similar experiences. I would love to hear them. Share them in the comments, like random funky injuries that you've experienced, or your relationship with pain and injury and how other people have treated you because of it. So share those in the comments if you feel comfortable.